My stepsister kept stealing my coffee every morning because she thought mine looked better, so I secretly spiked my own morning iced latte with a double shot of dark soy sauce. We rent an apartment together in the city, mostly because rent is insane right now. I have to be at work early, so every single morning I make these elaborate, expensive iced lattes in our kitchen. I'm talking fresh espresso, creamy oat milk, caramel drizzle, the works. And since we live together, the unwritten rule is if I'm playing barista, I have to make her one too. I really don't mind sharing, but here is the part that drives me absolutely insane. Every morning I pour our coffees into 2 large glass tumblers. Naturally, because I am a human being, they are never perfectly identical. One might have a slightly better caramel swirl or a fraction of an inch more coffee at the top. Without fail, Belly will hover around the kitchen island. She will wait patiently until I turn around to grab a napkin or put the milk back in the fridge. And in that tiny 3-second window, she does the swap. She smoothly slides the slightly bigger, prettier glass over to her side and pulls the smaller one into my spot. And she acts completely casual, like the cups magically rearrange themselves. If I say, "Hey, I made that one for me," she hits me with a dramatic eye roll. She'll say, "Oh my gosh, they are literally the exact same thing. Why are you so obsessed with monitoring me?" But they aren't the same. I made them. I know which one I intended to drink. I brought it up to her directly once. I told her, "Just take the bigger one while I'm looking. Stop sneaking around behind my back." She just laughed, gave me this smug little smirk, and said, "You're literally tracking fluid ounces in a glass. That is giving major psycho energy. Get a grip." I let it go for weeks. Tried to tell myself it was petty, and it was, but she kept doing it. Every time she did, she'd give me this little side eye, like she was daring me to say something. So I'm the psycho, cool. So last Tuesday, I decided I was done playing nice. I prepped our coffees just like always, beautiful layered iced lattes, but for the glass that I intentionally poured slightly higher, one with the perfect aesthetic swirl, I swapped out the espresso. Instead of coffee, I poured a double shot of dark, high-sodium soy sauce. I mixed it with the oat milk and ice, and it looked exactly like a rich, creamy latte. I carried both glasses to the island, prettier glass directly in front of my stool, setting the loaded and the normal one at hers. Then, I loudly announced, "I need to grab my charger," and walked toward the living room. But I didn't go to the living room. I stood right behind the hallway wall, watching her reflection in the microwave door. Right on cue, Belly checks to make sure I'm gone. Practiced, ninja-like speed, she reaches over, slides her normal coffee away, and pulls the soy sauce latte right in front of her. I counted to 5 and casually walked back in, sitting down in front of what was now my normal coffee. Belly grabs her metal straw, looks me right in the eye with that smug smirk, and takes a massive, triumphant gulp. The reaction, she completely froze, was instantaneous. Violently gagging, her eyes bulged out of her head, and her face turned pale green. She aggressively spit the entire mouthful directly into the sink and hacking like she was dying. "What the?" she screamed, grabbing the faucet to rinse her mouth. "This is disgusting. This is literal. What is wrong with this milk?" I took a slow, very satisfying sip of my perfectly sweet coffee and smiled. "Mine tastes great. Actually, it's perfect." Belly stared at the cup, then at me. You could physically watch the math happening behind her eyes as she realized exactly what just happened. "You," she sputtered. "You did this!" "Did what?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "Because I poured that big, beautiful coffee for myself." Dead silence. She just stood there, her mouth tasting like a sushi restaurant, unable to complain, without admitting that she's been stealing from me this whole time. She hasn't touched my coffee since.